Hello and welcome to a video about the TechWiz ecosystem, which is just a fancy way to call all the tools developed in the project and how they interact. There are three main components to the ecosystem, consisting of the TechWiz Studio, the TechWiz Glassloader, and the TechWiz Dictionary. The dictionary is the project's goal contribution, but for it to function as it should, the Studio and the Glassloader are essential. Let us start with the TechWiz Studio, for it is the base of everything. Historically, but also in the digital age, data has mostly been stored and shared in written format. Audio and video content has certainly seen a large increase over the last few decades, but the vast majority of information is still written down. The reason for this is in data simplicity. Almost everybody can read and write, and technologically sharing information in this way is not complicated. Editing text is also much simpler than editing audio or video content. This arrangement works great for the vast majority of people, but there are some exceptions, and one of them are the deaf users who, for a host of reasons, often have problems reading. Written language is also a foreign language to the deaf, who primarily use sign language. However, sign language requires a more advanced visual representation than, say, a written language and is, for this reason, impossible or not easy to implement. TechWiz Studio is a tool that allows for the digital representation of sign languages. For this, we use an avatar, which is just a digital representation of a human. TechWiz Studio essentially allows users to make an avatar move in the same way a signer would move to sign in sign language. This way, we can record individual signs for any sign language. Later, we can chain individual signs to produce complete and meaningful sentences on the fly without having to pre-record all the possible sentences. The final result can be exported as a video of the avatar signing anything we want as long as we have all the required signs configured beforehand, or it can be used as a plugin in websites like it is used in the dictionary and even Glassloader. TechWiz Studio is therefore arguably the most important tool we will talk about here because it actually enables sign language to be presented in a digital format. However, by itself, the tool has very limited functionality, as it only allows for single signs to be configured without any information on how the signs fit into larger meaningful content. And that is why we have the TechWiz Glassloader. TechWiz Glassloader essentially defines how the signs are to be used to achieve the meaning we want to convey. Sign languages are independent from their spoken counterparts, and can therefore use a different sentence structure among other differences. By counterpart languages, we are thinking of languages from the same nations, for example, German and German Sign Language. Naturally, the differences between foreign languages are even greater. Additionally, sign languages contain fewer signs than there are words in spoken languages. As a result, the translation from a written or spoken language to a sign language is not trivial. Both of those reasons are why we need a glass to define how individual meanings or sentences convert between two languages. TechWiz Glass could also support translation of meaning between languages from different nations, for example, German to Greek Sign Language or even Greek Sign Language to Portuguese Sign Language, but those kinds of conversions are not in the scope of the TechWiz project. The TechWiz Glassloader enables volunteers to define how a text from one language would be reproduced in another. The Glassloader can support any pair of languages, but in the project, we are focused on transcribing from a written language to a sign language. We do this by selecting which signs and in what order should be used to achieve the same meaning as given in a written language. For example, let us take a sentence, I went for a run yesterday. In sign language, that might look something more like me run yesterday. If TechWiz Studio defines how to visually represent individual signs, the Glassloader defines how to combine those signs into complete and meaningful structures. TechWiz Studio and TechWiz Glassloader could be used to produce sign language interpretations of basically any written content. However, for the purposes of this project, we have focused on building a dictionary. Technical terms are essential to all technical and scientific documentation, education, or research. During education, it is important to set clear definitions of terms so students can all understand them clearly and equally. This is the point where deaf students can struggle, because their grasp of written language might not be as good or nuanced. This is where the idea to create a glossary explaining the meaning of technical terms in sign languages originated from. The TechWiz Dictionary helps deaf people understand new concepts by providing their definitions in their primary sign language. The original idea for the dictionary was for it to be more like a technical dictionary. However, as we will see in the video dedicated to the TechWiz Dictionary, the idea got extended to the point where it now functions like a full dictionary with inclusion of technical terms. Like any dictionary, the TechWiz Dictionary allows for words to be searched and it provides their definition. In addition to all that, it also links to Google Image Search to give visual representation of the search term and, more importantly, has the option to play the definition of the search term in sign language. The conversion of the definition from the written language to the sign language is obtained through the TechWiz Gloss Loader. After we have the gloss, the TechWiz Studio is used to transform the gloss into a visual sign language representation using the avatar to sign. The signing avatar is available for viewing in the TechWiz dictionary next to the definition it was created from. The dictionary should help with inclusive education by ensuring that all students have the conditions and the resources they need to understand the technical or scientific concepts from specific areas. The produced dictionary is also useful for anybody wanting to understand how something is signed or get a better understanding of a specific term through sign language, regardless of whether they are a student or not. This was a short presentation of the TechWiz ecosystem, its tools, and how they connect with each other. There are dedicated videos for each of the 3 tools. The content of this and all other videos will be a part of the certification process. As always, if you wish to learn more about the project and its results, continue to watch the videos, or you can follow and/or contact us on Facebook, LinkedIn and Instagram, or visit the project's website. Thank you for watching and goodbye.